Hello, everyone. Welcome back to our radio show, supported by Erasmus Plus and presented by Center for European Initiatives. Today, as we posted on Facebook, we're going to talk about volunteering. And here with me is Andrea from Portugal and Eva from Lithuania. And today we have a special guest, our ex-volunteer, Magda from Poland. Magda, hi.
Hello,
How are you?
здравейте.
How are you, Magda?
I'm fine, thanks.
So, Magda, it's really hot here. It's plus 30 degrees in Bulgaria, and I know that now you're doing your Erasmus in Croatia. How is it there?
Oh, here is also so hot, but I love that weather because in Poland it's worst, I think, and here I can spend amazing times, see the sea and enjoy this time.
Okay, I don't think we will agree with you on the weather topic here. Yeah. Magda, the last
Yes,
time you participated in the radio show was also with us, but it was more than half a year, I think, right?
yes, I'm so happy that I can take part again in this radio show because I really miss you.
We're also happy to have you today. And tell us, please, how the volunteering in Bulgaria here affected you, and what is volunteering for you in general?
Volunteering in general, I have to say honestly, it's a very important part of my life because it's changing me all the time. And it's something what gives me a lot of satisfaction. And I think if you will come into volunteering once, it's hard to stop and don't help. Uh, What's more, volunteering has taught me a lot of things, helps me understood better this world and processes between people. Uh, I think that volunteering is very important part of my life, and I became because of this more open-minded for a lot of new things which I couldn't understand before. It's developed my skills, open eyes for real social and not only maybe social problems. Uh, I can treat this also as a practice in references my future work. Maybe these skills which give me volunteering I can use in my future job. Who knows? But
Yeah.
what about Zagora? Oh, Zagora, it was very spontaneous situation in my life, but I think it was one of the most important and one of the greatest experience in my life. It gives me motivation to work and maybe even motivation to see more on this world. I mean, maybe if I wouldn't go to Bulgaria, I couldn't be here in Croatia right now because volunteering in Bulgaria was like a impulse for me
Mm-hmm.
to go around and see new things and discover and develop in the same time. Uh, yeah, that's it.
But you said that this experience you had here gave you this impulse, and you said that volunteering can help you, like in your future prospects, as with job and stuff like that. Tell us what you're studying and how exactly can volunteering can help you.
I graduated social work. It was my bachelor degree, and now I study resocialization. And resocialization affect mostly to people with some abnormal behaviors, like example addiction.
Mm-hmm.
How it can help me? I can give you maybe another example. Like I work in the Center for Addiction Youth, and then I saw very important function of volunteering, like resocialization function, which helps people become part of community again. And beginning volunteer by them, I mean, like for addiction youth, helps more understand some process. They can see new value, which are very important. And I was volunteer there, and once we went with young people to center with disabled people. We helped them in the daily things. And after that, one guy addicted from alcohol told me that this visit opened his eyes, and he understood that he has but he can appreciate this. So I think volunteering has a big influence and a lot of functions. So it's amazing.
Yeah, that's true. But before Eva's experience, you've also volunteered in Poland in other social centers, right?
Yes, I think I start my adventure with volunteering in school, what is very important, I think, in this time, because school is like a second environment for children after their home,
Yeah.
where they can teach some very important values and very important things according to the future life. And yes, but there was just like once times action, like I don't know, collect money or something like that. Uh, and the biggest volunteering adventure start, I think, during my study. Like I was a leader of group of volunteers in one big project in Poland. It was a project which took take place every year around Christmas, and leader has to connect poor family, with people who want to support them. And we prepare huge boxes for this family, and they could spend the holidays like Christmas in really nice atmosphere. It
Yeah.
was amazing experience, and also it has had a big connection with social work, so I could develop also my skills.
Yeah, that was like a really nice gesture to people who can't afford some stuff, but as we can always help them. And yeah, as you said, that once a volunteer, always a volunteer. It's like Erasmus saying, once Erasmus, always Erasmus.
Yes.
But it was, I think it is like this, because if you tried once helping and giving your help for free, and you will not stop. At least I believe it is like that. What do you think, Andrea?
Hi, Magda.
Hello.
I totally agree. For me, it was a bit like that also. I started volunteering very young when I was in these groups of youth groups or something like that, in summer camps, in the local community, and you do it for different reasons. As you were
Yeah.
saying, it could be to raise your skills, could be to meet new people, to do something that you like. Um, but you notice that you receive so much, and you give also, of course, but you also receive so much, and then you just keep on doing it and getting involved in your community, and then you start exploring other places and volunteering in other places, and the exchange is even bigger because you are in a different culture or a different environment. And yes, I think if you experience this feeling of giving, and it's such a good feeling, um, because when we say, oh, we help others,
Yeah.
to help others, no, it's because we feel good helping others,
Yeah,
right?
that's true. Because like inside there is something that feels really good, and if by doing something really small, just I don't know, by helping someone figure out a program on computer, and it's kind of a small gesture, and you already feel satisfied and pleased with yourself. Imagine when it's really a big thing, when
Hmm.
you work with kids like all the time. It's more satisfying for you because you know that by working like that, working with kids and helping them, you will give that reward, you have a good feeling, but you know that your work will influence them in some way. It depends, of course, on what you're doing and how you work with them.
You are saying something very interesting about the little, when you just do something little like helping someone in the computer. It's very interesting because I think in different countries there are different ways to see volunteering. And I remember when I came here, my sending organization, we were talking about that, and they were saying that I'm not sure if it was in Poland. I'm not sure, but maybe
Uh-huh.
you can help us, Magda. It's like helping someone to cross the street or something like that. They would
Uh-huh.
consider it volunteering. And in Portugal, we would never consider that volunteering. We would consider that it's
A nice gesture.
just a nice gesture. So
Yeah.
some countries they consider it as a volunteer. So it's also interesting.
No, I think it's just about being polite, not
So
about
maybe it was not
volunteering.
in
I
Poland.
think
It was
that
another
we have
country, maybe
we have a
Czech
lot
or
of
something.
different types of volunteering right now because, as Vika said, for example, do some stuff on computer. It can be volunteering, but volunteering it's like term when we do something for free and we are not forced to do this.
Yeah, it's
It's I think the most two important things if we are talking about volunteering, and it can be even one action or maybe I don't know volunteering like long term like 1 year, but helping crossing the street is it just I think when we are talking about being polite.
yeah. You see how different perceptions of the same thing
Yeah,
can be in different
exactly,
cultures.
exactly.
Yeah.
Yes, yes, yes.
But
But
I
in
agree.
Poland, I
It's about
think we think that volunteering is about helping just people. But I think volunteering is something bigger, like I don't know, helping environment, like helping to animals, like
Yeah, yeah, that's
helping
true.
create, I don't know, video, movie, or something like that. But we don't earn money for this, and we are not forced to do this. It's I think the most important.
Yeah, there are different types of volunteering. Yeah, it hasn't specifically be just work with people. It can be different areas, as you said, because there are different issues in the world that can be raised, like helping environment, working on festivals, like I mean protecting environment, working as people or kids is just one small part of volunteering work you can do.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah, and Magda, well, you've been in Bulgaria volunteering. We know about it because we volunteered with you. Well, I did, and you did in Poland. Do you have any other experience abroad about volunteering?
Maybe not abroad, but I am part of ESN. It's Erasmus Student Network, and we take care about Erasmus students in my city in Poland, in Toruń. And I was social Erasmus coordinator. And then uh, we worked together. Like there was cooperation between daycare centers, schools, and our organizations, and I took group of Erasmus students, and for example, we came to the school and they presented their country, their culture, and it was very amazing experience. And same in they can center where there are children with unfunctional families mostly, and they could play with people from the another countries, and we put it like all together these things and doesn't matter which color of skin you have or where are you from it was really doesn't matter they had a lot of fun and I think it's very important for the youngest one to show it because racism is everywhere and they should know that they are not so much different like we and even this difference are very important and interesting it's not nothing wrong.
Yeah, you're right. And like for me, volunteering, I started it also in school, but it was different. For example, sometimes you do something and it is volunteering, but you don't realize that you volunteer because, as you Magda mentioned, it is like when you're not forced, you do it willingly. But I remember in schools we were like every year in school um, we would collect also food for people who can't afford it, and we just go and give it to people. And we also had a lot of old people who were veterans from the Second World War, so they were really old. And sometimes we would just gather in small groups and would go to their houses because we had in school the list of these people, and we'd go to their houses and ask whether they need any help possible, like whether it's to help them in the garden or to or restore something or even go buy something in the market because
Yes.
some places are far from the market. And every year we did it. And I don't know, I've never realized that it was like volunteering something. I just did it because I knew that it's good and it made me feel good. And
But
yeah.
at that time, you didn't realize that you
Yeah,
were a
and
volunteer.
at that time I was not because now some people say that volunteering like has also negative aspect because some people would do it not because they do it for themselves or with the community, but because they want to put it on their CV. It's just like another thing to put on the CV so they would look better for the employer,
Oh,
like
okay.
create better image. So, like, the decision, oh, I will go there like for 1 or 2 months. I will do whatever is needed, maybe not put too much effort, but at the end I will get a certificate and I can put in my CV that I worked somewhere abroad or in the local community. And what I'm saying is that when I did it in school, I've never had such thought. I did it because I wanted to do it. And that also is like this thing that people still have different um, perceptions of volunteering because of it there is this negative and positive. For me, like when someone asks what is volunteering, like is it negative or positive, I would always say it's positive because it's how I view it. But and I would never understand. But then when I thought about it, because there are different reasons people do volunteering work and in today's society.
Yeah, I think it's a very recent
Yeah.
Yeah.
topic in this part because um, before there was, it was not that maybe formal, and you would not need it as a personal competence
Yeah.
or experience, and now it's more and more valuable in the CV, and so you have this pressure, and so you look. So maybe some people look to do it just because of that, but anyway, if they do it, at least they are helping the community.
Yeah. Well, you can also find the positive in that if they do it.
Exactly. And maybe then they feel it and then they continue doing it. Um, but
Yeah.
the project that you were talking about, we have also some projects like that in Portugal, and probably anywhere. If you really want to start to be a volunteer, I think the best way is to look around you in your local community, and you can, as you said, and you can help people even sometimes without being in a formal organization. You can just go and ask people if they need help and start doing something. And there are so many initiatives to if you live in a city to give food to the homeless people, or in a dog shelter, or planting trees, or there are so many ways that someone can get engaged in volunteering. The difference maybe here would be the more formal one. You get the certificate.
Yeah. Yeah, that's true. And it's like nowadays also when volunteering is mentioned and some people say like, oh, I would like to volunteer, but I would need to look for the organization and I would need to apply and go through this process of acceptance and such things. But in reality, it might not be that difficult as you said. For example, if you see your future prospects being a doctor, you can just go to the hospital that like in your town or city and ask whether they need any help, or like to the nursery. Like it depends on what you like, what your interests and hobbies are, and then from that you can develop it. And you can start your own initiative
Mm-hmm.
also. Like you said, planting trees. I think anyone can start it. Like really, if you really want it, if you really care about environmental problems, just start this project. If you need some investments, you can also like find some investors who can help you.
And as you said, in school you don't need to to go through these more formal processes. And when you need to go through them, I think it's also important because um, sometimes imagine that you want to work in a I was working in a disability in a center for persons with disabilities, and for the centers to accept volunteers you need to have insurance. You need to make sure that the person is also inside of the rules and the system
Hmm.
that where you are working with. And so it's not just, oh, you can do whatever you want. It's not like that, especially when you're working with
Yeah,
an
but
organization. So it's it's not a bad thing sometimes if you need to pass through some process. It's for your own benefits
yeah,
also.
it like depends on what you want and what your goals are and where everything like where your path is going. For example, Magda, you
Mm-hmm.
said that you're working on your master thesis, and your master
Yeah.
thesis topic is.
It's like development of competences and skills by EVS projects, more or less, because I don't have like exactly same.
But I have a question for you. Uh, you started working on this, like you chose this topic after EVS experience, or have you had some thoughts about it before coming on EVS already?
Uh, I had before like about I wanted to write about volunteering, but start looking for specialization like one part because I have to be focused for one thing like or EVS or another project. But EVS is easier for me because I was part of EVS, so it's not so hard to write because I can share my experience and etc. But you start very interesting subject about certificates and interesting things and hobbies like connection, volunteering, and your interesting and hobbies. Um, I think motivation to take action is very important because it should be pleasure if you do something, and it shouldn't be desire like you need something material from your action. Like, yes, I'm going there just because I need this in my CV. I need a certificate. I need this. No, first of all, you should think about others, what they need, and what you can do for others, and then this certificate and development of competences come like that, like just you don't think about it, you just develop, but you are not focused on the material things. It's really good. uh, what's more about my master thesis, yeah, I decided to write about EBS because it's easier for me, and it's very interesting because we have a lot of projects, not only with the children, but we have a project with environments and etc. And we have a few points of view, and in every project we development in different ways also because I think sometimes volunteers need special competences. For example, like we are going, yeah, to disabled people, we need to know something about them, we need to know how to treat them, but also we can learn this like by workshops or something like that, and it's also a chance and occasion for us to developing.
Yeah, I agree with you about motivation. That, for example, when I came here, I like, okay, I will receive a certificate at the end of my EVS, but even if I didn't, I don't care because I came here specifically for the project. And yeah, I think the motivation is the most important part. But like in your case, as you said that you were thinking about writing a thesis about volunteering in general before coming here, I think it also works because you decided to write it because you need to graduate and need some topic to write about. But when you write about something, it's really good to have practical experience to experience these things you're writing about so you would like know everything from the inside, and then you can like put solid points on your like paperwork, and you can even like say something not taken out of the blue because you've gone through this experience, so you're knowing what you're talking about, and I think that's like a valid and justified reason to also do it.
It's very
Yeah.
interesting about the motivation. Even today, I was reading about volunteering, and there is a book only about this, why people volunteer, and the motivations, like the three main points, would be, as we are talking about, um, the development of the self development, and you look for some self development. The other point would be the belief. So it's what Magda was saying, like to be passionate about something, about a cause that you want to contribute to, and also the relations and the social part, because you are contacting with other
Yeah.
people, even if it's just the organization or the persons that you're helping, and it's these, I think, are the main points that they were sharing about volunteering, why people do it, and what is behind their motivations. And as you said, it's like to have a practical experience that will help you in a future project or in your future work. You can. I was volunteering. I remember when I was studying in university, in my summer holidays, I went to some centers and I asked to the therapist, "Oh, can I come here once or twice a week and help you and work with you?" And they accepted. I did what I had to do, and it was interesting because it gave me more confidence.
Yeah.
Um, Sometimes in my course I also had a lot of practical experiences, but it's an extra, and it's a different context, so it gives you more confidence also when you before you start working.
Yeah, but I also believe though, because as you said, volunteering will give you this sociable, like social skills, because you always interact with people, even if you're not working with the people on your project, but still it would be some communication with someone. And yeah, it will give you more self, I don't know, it will it's self development, of course, but self confidence
Hmm.
for sure. It's like working on the radio here. I remember our first time here with Magda also, and how scared we were because we've never done it. We've never talked on the radio. But now, why not? No one sees you. You're like behind the microphone. Who cares? But like this experience, it gave me a lot. Even like if we don't have listeners, so we have listeners, and the topics we talk about, but that self-confidence that I know that I can talk and can talk freely, and I can choose something I want to talk about and share my experience, share my views. It gives you a lot. It enriches you. So like my events here gave me a lot, and 1 year is a long period. So of course, like the effects are even bigger if I was in a short term. But I'm like I have zero regrets of coming here, and the things I've done here, they will they already affected, and I think they will affect me
In your
in
future.
my future. Yeah. And I'm really glad and happy I'm here. And I'm also sad that this is my last radio show.
Yes,
But
actually,
yeah, it's true. I can even hear that you are feel more comfortable and more confident when you speak right now. Because can compare like you act like I don't know around 6 or maybe
Yeah,
even more than 6 months ago and right now, and it's perfect, Vika.
you're an expert here because you've been here from the beginning.
Oh no, it was fun.
Yeah,
Because I really like it, and it was very important because if you like something and you have to do this, it's just a pleasure. So it's my
yeah,
pleasure to talk with you today.
it's ours as well.
that's really interesting that you are saying, because sometimes you can experience something that is totally different from what you've ever
Yes.
done in your life, and that maybe in a professional way you would not have the opportunity to do it because you don't have any previous experience. But volunteering gives you that chance to do it, and that freedom and opportunities. It's very interesting, and it's true because Vika is leaving the project soon. So today the show should be
Yeah.
hosted by her, and of course about volunteering.
Why not? I think this is
Yeah.
the topic we can talk all day long because we can share a lot of stuff, and because this volunteering experience is not the only one that I think we all had.
Yes.
Yeah, and
And it's interesting that you said about the long term, because I've volunteered quite a lot of times before, and in different places, and in totally different activities, from dog shelters to to
yeah,
work with kids, to work with old people, to, I don't know, planting trees, I don't know. And I decided to come to this EVS because I felt that I wanted to do something more long term, not just for 1 week, or once a week in some place or something like
yeah,
that. I
to have
wanted
something continuously.
that is totally continuous, and that you can see the improvement better,
Yeah.
because sometimes you there is improvement but you don't see it because you already left.
Exactly. Yeah, like you volunteered and you may even not notice that improvement. You've done something, but it was one-time thing, and you don't even notice that effect that it had on you or the organization.
Hmm.
There was an effect, but you don't know. And when you're on the long term, you can just look back
Yes,
and see.
it's true because when I come back from EVS from Bulgaria and I start to talk to my friends about things which I do and which I did in Bulgaria, like work with children, like radio show, etc. I just realized that I had learned a lot of. It was the most important part that maybe not during these activities, but after we realized that yeah, we have this power right now and new skills and new competences.
Yeah, that's true. And then you look back on the way you've you've gone on your EVS and like, my God, did I really do all of this?
Exactly. It's like you are in shock because when you are doing this, you are not focused. Like, okay, it's I have to do this. Okay, it's nice. But when you come back, there is a you say something about it, and maybe even you think on your own. You think, oh yeah, I did a lot of. I learned a lot of.
Yeah, we have one question on our Facebook group, and it is from Krasimir. And she is asking whether it is easy to keep your motivation throughout the whole project. Magda, was it easy for you? You've been on a
About
short term,
I
but
I have my motivation before project, during project, and after project. I still have it, so I think it's not so hard.
so you can come back, you know,
It's
with your
not so hard.
motivation.
As I said at the beginning, if you once come into volunteering, you can't stop. And if you come on EVS, I think especially EVS, when you can meet people from around the world and you can do something together for the others, and you can also traveling because it's also like discover other cultures, other places different than your own country. Like you can see different point of views for some social problems. It's very interesting, and that's why I'm here in Croatia also because it was like impulse, like I said before. So this motivation and bigger, and I'm scared what I will think when I come back after Coresia.
Yeah.
I don't know what will be next. But yeah, this motivation is not so hard to keep if you are doing something for yourself, for others, and you have pleasure from this.
You know, summer camp is starting soon. You can come with your motivation.
Okay.
Yes, because Vika will not be here, so we need more people.
Who
Free
understand
place.
Bulgarian?
But yeah, if someone asks me how was in Bulgaria, I can honestly recommend this place because during this project I did a lot of things. I wasn't there long because it was just 2 months, and we had a lot of holidays, like a lot of free days. But it was, I think, even intensively times. Like we were in the school, like we were with children, like gypsy children. What it was very specific because in Poland they said that we have a problem with gypsies. No, we don't have problem with gypsies. Go to Bulgaria, and then you can see how gypsy live. It was very interesting for me, and even I wrote short essay about that for my course in Poland, and they was very surprised. Yeah, it was helped me past one course. Like I can say that because of EVS, I passed one course in Poland.
You see, it helps
So
you a lot.
yeah, but it was also, I didn't think on this way, but it was just experience, and this experience gives me something, and I could use it. So it's
Yeah,
really
of course.
nice.
Um, about motivation, this is very interesting
Interesting,
and
yes.
important. I think that first of all, we need to look inside and understand if we are really motivated to do something. And if we have that from the beginning, normally it's not that difficult to keep. Sometimes, maybe if there are some challenges, if the things don't work as you want, or if have some expectations that are
Or
not.
even yeah, or even sometimes we are too lazy to do something, but then it's like, okay, I will do that. Maybe we'll be fine. It's yeah. Sometimes we have these moments like, I don't want to do this. I losing my motivation. But there's all the time this thing that someone keep us in this. So it's yeah, motivation is important.
Exactly, because uh, s- uh, in that part, it's very important the colleagues, your team, and your supervisor, in specifically in EVS, because if you're losing it, it's important the other people that is around you to push you up and to keep
Yep.
to giving you the this.
Not to disconnect from the group, but on the opposite, just to be like a team closer to start working. I think that's important also.
Mhm.
Yeah, but in volunteering you are never alone. I think never. Even
Yes,
when with
yes.
you when you are working, I don't know, with computer, we have to contact with people and they are you're supporting, and yeah, it's important like other people just give you this motivation also and support you.
And I also think that these projects are very free. You have a lot of freedom. And so, if I always say that the project is what you make of it. So, if you are not, something is not as you want, or something is not, you're losing your motivation, maybe try to find something that you really like and that you're really passionate about, and mix it with what you're doing, and then you will be more motivated, and you will be more involved. And I think this is one of the interesting things about EVS, is that gives you a lot of
Yeah.
freedom, and so you can build projects based on your own interests.
Yeah, that's what I wanted to say. That sometimes you have motivation and you come somewhere, but your expectations don't meet reality. But it's also not a bad thing because you can choose it to your advantage. You can
Hmm.
use it to your advantage as well. Especially as like on EVS, there are a lot of freedoms, and on other projects maybe as well. And just turn it around and make the best of it.
Yes, exactly, exactly. And
or you can maybe even realize what do you really like or maybe you don't like just compare, okay, I'm good in this but maybe I'm not so good in this and maybe I should work on it, or maybe it's not for me and okay, I will stop, because we need to also know borders. Or and sometimes some people can cross these borders, like okay, it's not for me but now I know it because I just try, I experience this and I know that, for example, it's not for me but another things can be.
Yes, and there is totally no problem on that. We
Yes.
can always. It's totally fine to say no. I'm not good at this, or I'm better at that. It's all about communication, and yes, I think that's how we keep our motivation is trying to find things that we are passionate about and share our feelings with others
Yeah.
and our emotions and because it's all about communication.
It is, and I think, like, for example, I'm here long term, and the things I'm doing are like the same. A lot of them, like going to one school for the whole school year, and you can lose motivation sometimes because it's all the time, but you can be creative and come up with new ideas. But for me, it was like sometimes I'm thinking, oh, I'm going to that school again. I need to prepare something like of the same things because sometimes like handicrafts and handicrafts. But when you come there, go there, and there are kids who are really excited just by seeing you, you like get your motivation back if you lost.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, you just get it back in a second, and then you understand why you're doing it, for what reasons, and then you're thinking, oh, I was so foolish to think that, like, why I'm going there, or I'm tired, because it's true. Like, I don't know. One of the reasons, and maybe the biggest one. I like working with kids, and I came for this project because kids are the motivation.
They give you the that
Yeah,
boost.
yeah. They just give you
Yeah,
that
for
impulse.
example, someone smile or when they are happy when you do something for them, it's the biggest motivation and satisfaction for the volunteering, I think.
Yes, kids are everything.
Yes, it's true.
It's very funny because I've never been the kids person actually,
But
and then
you
I'm
chose the
here.
project
But I
like
choose
this.
this project. But no, but I like to work with kids. But it's not.
Yeah, it was.
I feel that in the way
Yeah,
you
in
talk
mine it
about
is.
it. It's like you're exploding on
But the
passion
thing
on it.
is, when I was like even myself a kid, like when I was 5 years old, I didn't consider myself a kid. I considered everyone around me a kid, and I wanted to care for them, like,
Okay.
and like that. That was
Mhm.
like, my God, there is a baby. I want to play with it. I want that baby not to cry if it's crying,
Okay.
and to make it smile. And I think it went from that time and just developed and grown.
Definitely, you will have a bunch of children.
Yeah, I hope so.
Yeah, but empathy is very important in our work. Like we can recognize someone's feelings and then we can help them effectively, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's important.
Well, that's volunteering for us. And as my project came to an end, I want also to thank everyone I volunteered here with. And it was a really great adventure for me, and to get to know all of you, people who already left and who's still here on the project. And thank you, Krasimir, for accepting me within 2 hours after my application.
See, sometimes it's really easy.
Sometimes it's really easy, yeah. That's true. And these 11 months were the the best time, and I learned a lot about myself and helped me to develop myself, gain that self confidence I think I lacked in many things. Well,
Maybe open your mind to some different projects that
definitely.
you would do in
And
the future.
and actually it also showed me that there are so like there is a lot in the world that I didn't knew about, and the cultures. Actually, I realized a lot about my own culture here while being abroad than while I was living there for so many years, and I think it's also good to go abroad just to realize about your roots, where you're from, and your background.
Yeah, it's totally true.
Yeah. So Magda, thank you for
Mhm.
participating
Thank you so much.
Nice
in
to
the
meet you.
show. We,
Nice to meet you too. Vika, you are excellent volunteer, I think, and it was pleasure work with you.
thank you.
Yeah.
I wish you a lot of luck with your master's thesis on volunteering.
Oh, yeah.
I believe it will be good because you had experience
Thank you.
and you will write a lot of many good stuff.
Yeah.
Um, we're finished. Thank you for listening us our show. We have our next radio show on this Thursday at 3 p.m. Bulgarian time. Come and listen. Kinga will talk about
Taboos.
taboos, probably. Yeah. Thank you, Magda, once again. Thanks, everyone.
Thank you.
And
Can I send greetings for someone?
yes, yes.
I would like to greetings my Erasmus group in here, Croatia, in Rijeka, and my best friend Natalia, who is listening us, and Krasi, because I guess there is not, she's not there with you.
No, but
But
she's
she's
listening.
listening.
Okay. So hello, Krasi. Thank you for invitation. Okay.
Okay. Thank you, Magda. So stay
Thank you.
tuned and listen to Girls next Tuesday as well. Bye.
Bye bye.